For the modern player who often plays in dadgad or drop tuning of some sort, and we took certain things that we like. Then we look around the shop and say, who plays like that? And we found, in this case, Ken, who works for us, is a modern fingerstyle guitar player, and we said, hey, what would you do on this? And we did those things, and it turned out great. We changed the bracing a little bit. We borrowed bracing from the 00. We borrowed body shape from the CM. We changed the depth. We changed the neck, and we put some elements together that made a modern fingerstyle guitar. Lately around the shop, there's been a lot of old-time banjo work, and again, Ken and Jeff Huss have designed several different old-time banjos lately, and we just keep going in the old-time banjo world. There's a wealth of things you can do there. We're trying everything, and they're all turning out great. It's a lot of fun. I mean, that's one of the great things about it, is just to when I first started playing guitar, I couldn't imagine. I was playing a Japanese guitar that cost $125. I couldn't imagine being able to go in and talk to some of the best people in the world doing this and say, let's design so and so, and they come up with their ideas, and the next thing you know, it's a world-class instrument coming out. So, I mean, that's some of what's going on in the shop all the time with guitars, and lately a lot with old-time banjos. We've been doing a lot of that stuff.
While staying with the idea of traditional models, is there still a lot of new design being done?
Well, the improvement of the system is something that we spend a lot of time on.
On our system,
Yeah.
on the way we build them.
Yeah.
We're constantly looking back at it and saying, there's a better way we can do this, and there's some way we can do that, and we can do it faster, we can do it more accurate, and the parts will fit together better, and that occupies a lot of our time, just looking at it and saying, this works, but I think this would work better, and how can we do that, and how can we get there? What jig would we have to build to make that happen?
Jeff and I would always like to build more guitars, but we would more like to build better guitars all the time, every year, and we talk about that a lot. And that's a lot of what makes a job fun. I mean, we talk about every day. We talk about some way to change this or that, and then we go and do it, and often involve other guys in the shop who especially who are dealing with that particular part of the instrument every day, and then we come up with some better way to do it, and it works, and that's a real reward to the job. I think it's one of the parts that's really fun.
How do you balance the two competing pressures of keeping up your production and keeping up your high quality?
Our growth was always slow because it took so long to train people. And so even though there were times like the first NAMM show, and demand, for us really skyrocketed, which, meant, I guess the first NAMM show we took like 50 orders or something, and we were doing, at that time, maybe
50 a year. So.
Yeah. But we knew from when we knew just from when we started that the growth was going to be slow, because it was hard to learn how to do things, and it was hard to, it's a highly skilled, every job in there is highly skilled, and it takes a lot of time to learn to do the job. So from the time we hired our first and second and third guy, we knew that we weren't going to ever be able to just say, hey, we took 400 orders, we'll hire 10 people and we'll crank them out. It just didn't work that way. So we never had illusions that we were ever going to grow fast, because we knew it would just always be slow, and it was always a matter of finding the right guy and having him there long enough to train him and get him to do his job well, and have him be contributing to the business before it was time to hire another guy. And I think maybe once in our history we've hired two guys almost at the same time. And it's always been one person at a time, and just real slow growth.
I think that's the way it is for the guitar industry in general. There may be some, really at the factory level, there may be where you go in and hire 20 people at a time, but even though these days that we have a CNC machine and some things have changed from the early days, you still there's a lot of skilled labor involved in it, and you can't willy-nilly hire people and get them in there. I always say it takes 3 years to do any job in our shop, and so you hire people and they learn for 3 years, and they learn under somebody, and they do whatever they can do for 3 years without getting in the way. And at about that point, they start to be productive and make really good guitars, and then hopefully you keep them around after that.
And we talked about trying to work on the system, which is what we always do, and try to get the system so that it's fairly foolproof, and it just has never worked. It always still takes skilled people to do whatever it is they're doing, even though the jigs are better and the system is better, and we've worked through things and we know how it works and how things work and why they work together. It still takes skilled people to do it.
And there's so many good guitar builders now, you can't fudge it. I mean, the product has to be right, and because there's a ton of talented people doing this for a living. So the bar is set so high, not just for me and Jeff, but to everybody who works there in the shop, the quality level has to be tremendous. So it pushes us all the time, both us and the employees, to do their job to the highest level. I mean, without cliche, that's the way it has to be done, because there's no room anywhere in the market for anything less than that now. So it's really, if you're a guitar buyer, it's a great time to be a high-end guitar buyer, because you're getting the best of the best people that there is.
And what's your vision?
In closing,
Little
I'd like to
closing
say,
People have asked us that all along, what's your goal and what's your vision and stuff, and we've never, I guess our goal and vision has just been to keep rolling and keep us out here.